Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Rhythm of Leadership. My name is Frederick Geiger, but you can just call me Frederick. I greatly appreciate it. At any rate, I'm just getting on to basically have a brief conversation this evening. I was looking at some questions that I was asked a couple of weeks ago, and I decided to answer some of these questions. One of the questions was, what is the story behind my poetry? As some of you may know, I have been a published author for 26 years come October. I've written 4 books. My proposal is to write a 5th book and go in depth in my book this time. It's going to be more like stories than it is poetry because I write poetry a lot. But the question was asked, the story behind my poetry. Well, in the beginning, when I started writing back in October year 2000, the poetry was written to, how can I put it, fill a void, an emptiness that I was experiencing at the time. I felt alone in a lot of things that I was doing, and I needed an outlet. Everybody can go out and party amongst friends. Everybody can go drink, smoke, do whatever it is that you're doing. I'm not being critical when I say that, but I needed something that was going to help the intimate part of me and not just the temporary emotional state of mind I was having at the time. So I got on the computer and began writing poetry. And in the beginning, it was almost like roses are red, violets are blue type poetry. So it wasn't substantial. It wasn't how I was actually feeling. It was just something to get me or keep me out of trouble. And it wasn't, no depth was involved in it at all. And that was unfortunate. But you grow as you go, you grow as you flow. So over a period of time, I started writing. People would make requests for some of my poetry. People wanted me to write for them. I've had the worst critics who thought that I was writing poetry to sleep with women and all that other nonsense. And, what was sad about that is that poetry has an appeal to an audience. It has an appeal to people. You are obligated to how to respond to some degree, but there's no motive or objective behind what I write and what I recite. Poetry to me is therapy now. After 26 years of writing, it's very therapeutic for me. It relieves the stress and the anxiety that I struggle with from time to time. But it's one thing that no one could ever take away from me. It's intangible. It's understandable, but it's intangible. Poetry is not something that someone could take from you. The way your emotions are structured, the way you decide to communicate them cannot be taken from you unless you just give it away. How do I avoid giving my poetry away? Well, to some degree I have by publicizing it. People have access to it. But here's the thing. Your muse never dies if you write realistically. Or if you have something that's so imaginative that it feels real. And that's the thing. I started writing about things that were real and relevant to people. And that was the appeal. But some people, they say what they say. You're going to be criticized and judged by people as long as you're living. So after a while, you become accustomed to it. You do not let it change your focus. You continue to do as you do. Writing is my thing. I take my writing and I fuse it with contemporary jazz. Jazz music helps me flow thoroughly, intimately, and with transparency. That's why it's my favorite genre of music. I tie these things together in order to make sense of what my heart is feeling and what my mind is thinking. And that's the reason why I write poetry, because it fills up places and spaces where people fear occupying. It has grown me. It has molded and folded me. I used to have people critical of how I talk. Well, I can't help it. I'm an author. What you expect me to do? I'm a poet. This is what I do. I'm not a spoken word artist, but I will speak poetry. I leave that to the experienced and artistic brothers and sisters that I do know who do it. But for me, I like to write. This is what I'm an author that writes, but I don't fear reciting what I write.